Thank you for watching the Get Up Girl podcast, or maybe you're listening here on the podcast as well. We go live and it's also on audio with your gal, Joanna Vargas. And I have the pleasure of talking to the sexy, gorgeous Stephanie Gilstrap. She is a style expert, fashion expert, and just your overall gal that she's a mom and she knows how to help us gals feel great in our skin, right? So, Stephanie, welcome, hon. I always love talking to you. This is your second time here on the podcast, and welcome back.
Yeah, thanks, Joanna. I appreciate it. Yes, it's always so fun to talk to you. You're one of my favorite people to have interview me. So thank you for having me on again.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. We're going to have some fun today because, we're coming out of the pandemic, hopefully crossing our fingers, depending on where you live. And so I'm wondering, let's go jump right into it. Have you noticed a difference in your clients with changing their wardrobe because maybe they've had a change of heart? Maybe they've had a new job come along. Maybe they've left a job. Like there's so much shedding of the skin right now and changing of our lives. Have you noticed, Stephanie, that our clothes are also mirroring what's happening in our lives?
Yes. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Such a great question. Yeah, you know what? Our clothes, I feel like, are often overlooked at how much of an impact they can have on our lives. And with COVID, we all, I feel like, as a collective, got into naturally a little bit of a slump, and a lot of our routines changed, and the clothes that we weren't putting as much effort naturally into our appearance, most of us, which all kind of came with the territory, and that's okay, right? But now, as we're kind of like moving out of that time in all of our lives, right? People are kind of moving on, wanting to almost like come out of that situation as a new and improved version of themselves, right? And so women especially are really starting to connect the dots between, how am I presenting myself? What clothes am I putting on? And the way that impacts our everyday lives as far as our energy, our motivation, all of that. Because I always say, if you're in your sweats, girlfriend, you're taking a nap at 1 p.m. That's just how it goes. But if you feel really good about the way that you look, you're going to be way more on top of your game, which is always really fun to see clients really grasp onto that concept. So.
Absolutely, Stephanie. If you look good, you feel good. I totally know that for myself. And question for you, because if anybody's new and meeting you here for the first time, tell us about your journey on how you got into this, because I know you didn't always start like this. This was kind of like a new thing, and you're so good at it. Hashtag follow Stephanie on Instagram. Like, I'm going to make that a little hashtag on its own because you have the best reels. And are you also on TikTok? Because you're freaking amazing at it. So how did you get started in this?
Yes, girl. Thank you, first of all. Yeah, and you know what? It wasn't something that I was born into by any means. I definitely did not have like female figures in my life that are, fashionistas by any means. It was just something that, like as a kid, I was always really interested in beauty and clothes. Like 17 magazine was a huge part of my life.
Shout out.
Yeah. And yeah, but I didn't have the influence, and we didn't have a ton of money. So it's really been a long journey for me to try to figure out how to be really good at this. But I feel like when it's something you're naturally drawn to, you're willing to continuously put in the work to get better and better, right? I actually just posted a reel yesterday. I believe it was my style journey from 26 to 36. And it hasn't, in 10 years time, I look like I've aged backwards. Like I have like such like the journey, like it wasn't pretty, let's just say that, like 10 years ago, but you could tell that I was really trying, you know what I mean? And so I was just, every day I would try, and I would like really try to it really break down how style works. And I think that that's what's different about the way my brain works is a lot of girls, nothing against them, but they'll just be like, this is really cute, wear this. Whereas I'm constantly thinking, well, how does this break down? Like, why does this look cute? Like, what's the background of it? And, you know, dealing with body shapes and things like that, how certain things look different on different people. So anyway, it's been a long journey, but I'm just like so excited to be doing what I'm doing now. And I've been able to really step into that role, which is great. So
you're so phenomenal at that, because you're absolutely right. There's a lot of people out there, great, but they'll tell you what to wear. But you will really focus on like why and how to do it. And here's option A, B, C, D, and the why. And because I have, you know, little hips and I have this, and this is the reason. But if you have XYZ, try this. And you're really good at that to explain it to, I'm going to say, the everyday girl next door that's like, I'm not a fashionista and I just want a couple pieces in my closet. You're very, very good at that. Yeah. I did have a question about the slump. Okay. So this is from myself. I have been decluttering ever since day one of the pandemic. As anybody else, raise your hand. Okay. I have been decluttering the whole time, Stephanie. Like, it has not freaking stopped. And I'm like, I have so much junk that I don't require. And I haven't even tapped into my closet yet. I have just been decluttering other stuff. That is my next project. And my question to you is, I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of stuff and I want to restart. Would you suggest like a feeling behind the clothes, or do you go, well, Joanna, let's have a white, a black, and a red? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I want some kind of guidance on how to restart my closet.
Yeah, definitely. Well, absolutely what you said around like a feeling. I mean, we have to pay attention to when you look at something, and especially when you put it on, if you have any ounce of doubt or insecurity,
That's good.
is like that piece needs to go, because the reality is, like, clothes are meant to bring out the best version of us, the most confident version of us. And if you're holding on to something that does anything but that, and you have to question that, that's not a good addition to your closet. I mean, really. But I do think as women, well, just people in general, I feel like I think there's a financial, like, oh, I bought this, I spent money on it, or even like a body thing, like, oh, my body's not quite, it doesn't quite fit,
but one day,
someday it will. And those types of things tend to have us hold on to pieces that maybe we shouldn't, which is human nature. But if we can get past that and just understand that clothes are meant to make us feel our best, then that's really an important thing to tap into for sure.
Stephanie,
yeah.
I
And
really
then the other thing that comes to mind.
No, go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
So yeah, the other thing was definitely, I mean, it is important to have like a foundation within your wardrobe of pieces. A lot of people know it as like a capsule, which these are basic pieces that can mix and match with anything in your closet. Really, they're very, very versatile. And so, you know, it is important to have those basics. Sometimes people think of them as a little boring, but they create the foundation so that you can have a very versatile wardrobe, which I love helping people with that as well. So,
Stephanie, I really liked how you said the feeling behind it. Because even if you have an ounce of like, I don't really like this. Oh, Stephanie, I had that so many times, especially in my 20s. Even if there was a little ounce of I didn't like it, I'm like, I'm going to grow to like it. Then I never wore it. And now I'm like, if there's one little ounce, I'm like, you're out of here. You're out of here. And I just give gratitude for the clothes. Like, I'll say thank you. And then I say goodbye to it. Because that's another thing. I had so much attachment to it. So then I would keep it. Shame, or I felt guilt, or I felt like I purchased it, I spent money on it, so I'm going to keep it. It's similar, Stephanie, to having leftovers in your refrigerator. you're probably not going to eat them, but you just keep them there until they grow mold, and then you throw them away. I kind of see clothes like that, right? that
That's a really good analogy, Joanna.
Like, isn't it funny? Like, I'm not going to throw it away now, but I'll throw it away in 2 days. It's like, just throw it away. No, it's still good food, and I'll feel guilty. I will feel shame. Yeah. So that's how I kind of see clothes, because I'll go through my closet, Stephanie, 3 times. And then the third time I'll give it away. Or I'll get rid of it. Why didn't I just get rid of it on first try? Well, because, I invested money in it. Okay, I do want to talk about something important that we talked about last time. Our undergarments, our underwear, our bras. That was one thing that you really got me to focus on, because I forgot about that part. And I'm like, the underwear is for me. This is for, like, I would say, nobody's going to see it, right? So I would wear junk underwear. Now I'm like, no, I'm going to feel it. I'm going to wear it. My body wants to feel luxurious. So now I wear like the cute little panties that feel good. And the other day, Stephanie, I was at a party and my skirt was hiking up. And my cousin said, Joanna, pull down your skirt. Like, everybody could see everything. And I started laughing because I was like, oh, okay, well, I have cute underwear on anyway, so it's not a big deal. Rather than like I'm embarrassed because people see my underwear. Let's talk about that. Tell me about our undergarments. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I absolutely 100% agree with you. I mean, it's actually like scientifically proven that not only our clothes improve, our overall vibe and confidence levels and things like that, but it transfers over to our undergarments. I mean, every single thing we put onto our body essentially is an energy. And with that being said, I mean, you think about an undergarment too, like, so many of us have naturally some body insecurities, right? Well, why wouldn't, like, our undergarments create the base of our bodies, the form of it, right? Yeah. So why wouldn't we want our boobs like hiked up nice, and maybe some great underwear that doesn't show like massive panty lines, because that transfers over through our bottoms, right? So it's all working interchangeably, and absolutely our undergarments are powerful as well, and often overlooked. Absolutely.
Wow. I love how you said the energy behind the clothes. I forget to think that, Stephanie, like the clothes are creating energy on me, because I forgot to think of that piece of the pie, hon. I would think, like, I would communicate with my body and go, okay, what would you like to wear today? Like, what gets you excited? Right? Because my body will light up. I'll get goosebumps, or I'll feel excited. I'll feel good when I put on a certain garment. But I forgot about the energy that the clothes themselves have. Thank you so much for bringing that up, because next time I go shopping, I'm going to think, what kind of energy does this piece have? And do I want to bring you home with me? It's almost like, you're picking out a new family member to come home with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and especially our bras, right? Like, we freaking wear our bras a lot.
And sweating them.
A bra is a big one, yeah. And oftentimes, like, we don't think, like, well, nobody's seeing it. Well, they are seeing it in the way our body is shaped, and also, like, hey, girl, like, if you do have a partner, your partner absolutely appreciates that, just like they do their clothes. And even if you don't have a partner, it's showing, it's a form of self-love, in my opinion, wanting to feel your best while you're naked, but also when you're as close to naked as you can be. Like, you got to be feeling good about yourself, and that's all part of it.
Amen. Stephanie, I really liked how you said, nobody's going to see my bra, but they actually do see it. They're going to see it through your clothes, so to speak. They're going to see the form of your breasts. They're going to see the form of your silhouette. So they do see it, but they may not cognitively see it. I totally get what you're saying. All right. Now, we've had this discussion a couple times. If you've heard it before, great. First time here, awesome. Lean in. What do you say, Stephanie, to our peeps that say, well, I don't have time to get dressed up. It's not that important. That whole story. And you're like, there's something different there. And I love how you do your reels on Instagram about that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so here's the deal. I believe all women can absolutely be the total package. And that's a phrase that I love to use because
Yeah.
um, what does being the total package mean? It means showing your beauty from the inside, right? But also showing your beauty and that you care about yourself and your confidence on the outside as well. They really do work interchangeably, and every single woman is able to tap into that. And I feel like sometimes as women we get caught up in that statement like, oh well, I'm never going to look like her. So, and we think that beauty is, what society tells us beauty is. But no, it's like, it's just tapping into the highest, best version of ourselves, right? Whatever that means to you. And we can have beauty and brains at the same time. Like, if you're showing your beauty, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's good in my opinion, as long as you're also showing intellectually that you got it going on as well. So I think that often gets overlooked, and that we should all, especially if we have goals in our lives and we want to, you know, be, the best example for our kids and attract the right people into our lives, then those are very important, things to implement into our lives on a daily basis.
I do want to tap on that. Attract the people into our lives. Look, we're human. This is, to have the rebuttal of, well, it's what's inside that counts, et cetera, et cetera. We totally get it. And we're visual human beings and we see things. So I notice, Stephanie, that when I carry myself a certain way, I'm dressed a certain way, I'm able to maneuver in life easier, like with ease, than if I feel like if I physically look like I'm in a slump. I don't feel good. Plus, I don't get the same attention. I don't. I know when I walk in somewhere and if I look good, I'm able to get the attention, so to speak, to receive the outcome that I would like. Do you get what I'm saying? If I go shopping, if I go to Home Depot, if I go to Starbucks, if I look a certain way, I get a different customer service and I feel better. I mean, it's 360. And when I feel like I'm in a slump, I hide. I physically hide. I energetically hide. And then I walk around going, oh, I don't get that good as customer service. Well, am I emulating and pushing out that barrier from me to other people because I don't want to be seen? And so what have you noticed with that when you look a certain way, Stephanie, you're able to maneuver in life in a completely different way?
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. It's absolutely true. It creates a lot more ease and flow in our lives. A lot of women don't want to believe that. Like, they get really that pisses them off, quite honestly. That's a statement that not a lot of women want to accept, but it is absolutely the reality. And again, it's not about looking like you, Joanna, or looking like me. It's about showing up in a way that makes you feel energetically empowered, whatever that means physically for you. And I actually the reality is, like you said, that people absolutely are also judging us by our first impression before we even have a chance to say anything. So many of us ride on this whole thing of, oh well, it's all about the words I'm saying and like who I am inside. And it's like, well, girl, you need to get real with yourself, because it is a scientific fact that people are making judgments about us, and especially around our capabilities, within the first couple of seconds of meeting us. Like, that is science. That's like those are real studies that have been done. And I actually did a survey in my stories recently asking, if you come across a female on Instagram that's selling her products or her services, and she has like messy hair, she's not put effort into herself, how likely do you want to pull out your credit card to actually buy from that woman? And I said, P.S., being relatable is not the same as wanting to buy from them. There is a major difference there. And 78% of, I think, like of the 200 people that took the survey said, no, I do not want to buy from that person. And trust me, I don't have a bunch of, blue check marks following me. These are normal, everyday women that completed this survey and said, no, I don't, that doesn't make me want to buy from that person. So honestly, I truly believe as women, we need to stop saying that it doesn't matter, because quite honestly, it absolutely does. And we're self-sabotaging ourselves by continuing to believe that lie.
Self-sabotaging. Do you think we've bought, Stephanie, the lie that, or we've also like gone to the opposite end? We're so to the opposite end that we don't want to stand out. Or it's normal to be in the sweatpants, and it's normal to not stand out. So for example, Stephanie, let's say, I could just have, like right now I have a little dress on. This dress is so simple. I throw it on, cute little heels. And Stephanie, I will get the question all the time, where are you going? You're all dressed up. Where are you going? And I'm just like, oh, cool. I'm just going to the grocery store. Now, and you're always dressed so cute. Do you get that a lot, Stephanie? People that don't know what you do for a living. Like, you just look so cute. Where are you going? Because it's so normalized to look slummy.
Yeah, absolutely. That is 100%. And honestly, I truly believe that that type of statement is rooted in insecurity from whoever is saying it, because they feel themselves underdressed and they're possibly a little bit intimidated, and that's okay. But we do need to get out of this whole idea that it's not normal to like put yourself together. And it is really, there's a lot of deeper things happening there, because like you said, that dress, you just slipped it over your head. It's not hard to put a dress. It's just as easy to put that dress on as it is a hoodie and a pair of sweats, right? It's just as easy, like literally. So yeah, so and I hear women often say like, oh, it takes too much time. It's like, well, really it doesn't. So what's the deeper thing here that's happening that is keeping you from wanting that attention? A lot of women realistically have had bad experiences in their past. Maybe they don't want men noticing them, or just for whatever reason, they don't feel like they're worthy of the attention. And that's really where all of that resistance is rooted. It's not that it takes too much time. We all know that it doesn't. It's not all of the other excuses that we make. It's that we have something inside of us that's really holding us back from wanting to tap into that side of ourselves.
Interesting how I just thought of some friends that they didn't want attention from men. It was very clear and everybody knew. So I'm going to dress like this because I do not want attention from trauma that they've had from they were younger. Yeah, totally get it. And I wonder how we could be aware of that. Because then I also have girlfriends that are unaware, or they use the reason or the excuse of I don't have enough time. I'm like, is it though? Is it really that? Yeah. And this is not a conversation, Stephanie, of us impugning on those women. This is, I think, for us to be aware of what's really going on. What is it really?
Absolutely. Awareness is key. I mean, in all areas of our lives, we need to be aware of ourselves and our behaviors, and where are parts of ourselves that aren't totally healed showing up in our lives. And often clothes turn into a very superficial, surface level conversation. But I truly know and believe, with the work that I have done, that it's a lot deeper than that. And so we do need to be aware of where those resistance, the pieces of resistance are showing up in our lives. And it really shows up a lot in a lot of us on a physical level, and not being willing to try and possibly have eyes on us. That's a scary thought for a lot of women.
Okay, I'm going to repeat this because I'm taking notes like a fiend. Pieces of resistance. And the clothes are showing up on a deeper level. They're telling a story. I never cognitively saw it that way. That Wow. Cause yeah, I know when I'm having resistance in my life, I'm not as excited to get dressed. I'll do it, but it's like, but when there's less resistance, I'm excited to put on that little dress and the high heels.
Right.
Wow.
And when we're
Stephanie, I'm gonna
lacking, oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh,
Oh,
oh
I was
no.
just saying with, yeah, I think it is tied a lot to purpose, right? Like, when we feel like we have purpose in our lives, just like if we have a business or anything else, you're more motivated to jump out of bed. You're more motivated to, pick out a cute outfit. You're more motivated to do everything in your life when you have purpose. So I really feel like that's a key factor in this whole thing as well. So.
Ooh, that was good. Purpose. Whew. I kind of lost my other trait. Oh, it was good. Anyway, okay. Well, that's what I want to talk about. What I realized, this was about 10 years ago, Stephanie, it was a big awareness for me that I was dressing down, and I was unconsciously dressing down because I knew when I dressed up, I got too much attention, or I got too much of, I was aware that I made women feel badly because maybe they didn't choose to dress up, et cetera, et cetera. And I started to dress down a lot. And then I consciously, cognitively started to dress up again, even if it was just a little bit, right? And be willing to receive that attention, because it was mostly from women than from men. The attention was more from women, and be willing to receive the judgments or the looks. Because I'm like, let's get real. Women are the most competitive species on this planet. If you go to the animal kingdom, the women species, they fight more than the men do amongst each other. And have you noticed that, Stephanie, in your clients? Does that come up? Do they say things of that nature?
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you brought that up, because it's not just being always, we all have our own stories, but it's not always just being worried about attention from men. That is actually, once again, I've done a lot of research on this. That is a proven thing that women do, is they are afraid of receiving pushback, afraid of judgment from other women. That is it, very much, because we as women, we're very can be very catty, very mean, when it comes to that kind of stuff, if we ourselves feel insecure in our own lives. So women will absolutely purposely downplay their own looks so that they don't get negative attention from other women in form of jealousy and things like that. And here's what I say too, kind of on that, is I believe in an 80-20 rule, because a lot of women are like, I don't need to be dressed up all the time. Like, that's ridiculous, whatever. And I'm like, well, first of all, there's a difference between being dressed up and feeling put together. So we need to separate the
Oh,
two.
Stephanie, say that again. Say that again.
Because what I talk about, there's a difference between being dressed up and feeling put together.
Woo!
And yeah, what I love to teach women is feel put together. So the way you're dressed can mean a lot of different things, as long as you feel confident, which equates to being put together, right? So what I like to talk about is the 80-20 rule. So it is unrealistic to say that every day, every hour, we're always going to be on our game, right? Like, some days we have days where we're just like, I just want my greasy hair and my sweats. That really does happen to all of us, including myself. So what I say is feel put together 80% of the time. 80%, it's the majority. Give yourself that other 20 to have your moments where you're not put together, and that's perfectly okay. That's life. But what happens is, when you do feel good 80% of the time and feel like your highest self, then naturally, when you're not your highest self, you still feel good, because that energy from the 80% transfers over into the 20%. Now, if it was flip-flopped and 80% of the time, for a lot of us, we don't feel good about the way that we look, that insecurity transfers over into the 20. So it's a good rule to think about. Like, having awareness for yourself and think about, am
Oh,
I
you're buffering.
feeling good
Okay.
80% of the time? And if not, step your game up.
Stephanie, I love how you said put together versus dressed up. OMG, that is like just perfect. Even when I go to the gym, even when I work out, I am put together. That's what it is. But I'm not dressed up, but I'm put together. I go to the gym because I want to feel good about myself. And I do that all the time. And you're so right, hun. I used to be the other way. I used to be that girl that was like, I don't need to put on makeup. I don't need that. And it was coming from insecurity. So I started to put myself together when I would work out, sweat, train. And the 80%, I would do it. Now it's 100%, Stephanie, because the 80 went into the 20. Yes, like I so get it. And I work out better. I feel better about my workout rather than I go and I just look. Bleh. Even if I go hiking at 5 a.m, I am put together because I feel good about myself. Stephanie, I love how you said that. That is brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I'm going to remember that forever because I think as women, we think it's dressed up. It's not put together. That's so different. And I wonder if that's like I'm going to say like an old school term, like my grandma used to say that. Put yourself together, make sure that you're put together. And I wonder if we resisted that. And now it's like, yeah, but grandma had something. Grandma was on something, right? Come on, honey, put yourself together.
Yeah. Grandma knew.
Grandma knew.
That's right.
Stephanie, I love it. Well, you have a new Instagram page and here's the hashtag, let's say that again, daily style upgrade. And you do a lot of on your own channel too, but this one especially. So everybody follow that page, daily style upgrade. Tell us about that new page, Stephanie.
Yeah, so that's where it's 100% style tips, motivation, everything style related. So that's where I'm doing all of that. And it's all based around this really amazing outfit framework that I designed. And they're called outfit blueprints because the reality is, it is hard to know what the heck do I put together in my closet? This is like a headache. It's taking too much time. So outfit blueprints really alleviate all of those stressors, makes the process of putting together outfits using what you already have in your closet super fast and efficient, so that you can feel put together every day. So that's what that page is around. And we're having a good time over there. So I'd love to see any of you guys watching this come join us.
Please follow that page. I have a bunch of my girlfriends because I see them like it all the time. So I know that they're following your stuff. But yeah, they're like, oh my God, this girl Stephanie, she is the greatest. Like they just love you. And you know what I love? That you're a mom and you're like, yeah, I'm a mom and I'm still like rocking it. Yes, girl. Yes, yes, yes. I love that. Last question, because this has been in my universe lately. I think after we talked and just recently that let's talk about pajamas, sleepwear. Before, when I used to sleep, I would just throw on the junkiest of the junk. And that was a big, nobody's looking or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. But my body sleeps in this for 8 hours and it wants to feel luxurious. So now I sleep, Stephanie, and it's like a little love affair with my bed and my pajamas. And I got rid of all my junky pajamas, I'm talking t-shirts and just things that didn't match. And I went shopping and I bought matching outfits. Do you also talk about pajamas when you talk with your clients?
That's a really good question. You know what? I don't typically talk about pajamas, but I will say that I share the same sentiments as what we were talking about with our undergarments and things like that, is that it all creates an energy, right? And we should, it is a form of self-love, essentially, whether you are going to bed by yourself or if you're going to bed with a partner. Those are all moments that are opportunities for us to really tap into our higher selves and go to bed feeling our best, right? And again, if you do have a partner, that kind of stuff goes a long way. You don't have to, but Again, going back to what we were saying about we have to be realistic that people, especially our partners, right, are, looking at
Visual.
us, and attraction is important, and sleepwear is all part of that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to remember that again. Pajamas, they have energy, and I'm about to slumber and have my dreams. And I want to have that beautiful love affair with the material that's going to be on my body for so many hours. Yeah. So everybody listening out there, please really think about what we were talking about. And really, as I'm redoing my closet. It's the new thing. It's my new little project, so to speak. And I want to really enjoy it and have like a love affair with the rebuilding of my closet and the energy of picking the clothes. And because of this conversation, Stephanie, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's so awesome to hear. You're so welcome. That's amazing.
Such a gift. Yeah, we will have your personal and both Instagram pages here on the show notes, and her website as well, so you can get her blueprints for her daily style upgrades, right? Those are the blueprints. Yeah, perfect. And please follow her on Instagram because she's phenomenal and so fun. And I honestly, like, one of the top 3 people where I'm genuinely happy to see your posts. Like, there's just such an energy emulating from the posts. It could be felt through your device. And so great job, hun. I'm so proud of you.
That means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you so much, Joanna. I really appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being on the Get Up Girl. So let's get back up and rethink those energy. Rethink the energy that's going to be on our bodies, the clothes that we're going to be choosing. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, if you want different, choose different. Mwah. And we'll see you next time. Bye.